Welcome to the Great Man Within podcast. Every episode designed to help you discover and live the great man within you. Hey, what's up, fellas? Dominic rolling solo here today, and I want you to know that on the date of the release of this episode, we officially have 83 days left in the year of 2020. 83 days left. Now, I know that there are many people who have already thrown in the towel on the year 2020, right? Worst year ever. Let's turn the calendar, pretend like 2020 never happened, never speak of it ever again, and let's get on with our lives. And of course, I can understand that sentiment. This has been obviously one of the most extraordinary years of anyone's life. Like if we go back over the time of human history, this has been an extraordinary year, standout year in human history. And when I say extraordinary, I don't mean positive. I mean all of the extraordinary elements of this year. Pain, growth, suffering, loss, new awakenings, new beginnings, new technological developments, breakthrough innovations. It's been extraordinary in a number of regards. But I have started to see that there's this growing sentiment around throwing in the towel on this year, limping across the finish line of 2020, and then hoping that 2021 will bring brighter pastures, brighter futures. And I'm here to tell you that the way that you finish 2020 will be the way you start 2021. You can't compartmentalize how you show up now over these next 83 days and expect that if you just throw in the towel for 83 consecutive days that you're going to show up 2021 a different man. A conscious man, a powerful man, a man on purpose, a man living his best life. It's just not going to happen. And so this is an intervention to wake you up to say, all it takes is one moment, guys, one moment to change everything. One moment to shift your trajectory. One moment of inspired action to get back on course, to change your business, to change your relationship, to change your life. And over 83 days, there are an infinite number of moments that are at your fingertips that you can use, that you can create to change everything, to get what it is that you want, or at the very minimum, just to change the trajectory of where you're headed right now, to level up. Don't ever throw away a single day, let alone 83 more days. So we're going to talk today about how to finish the year of 2020 strong. And I want to share a story with you from my life, which I'll get to in a few moments. But I'm inspired to share this with you because last night, over 100 men from around the world came together on a live Zoom call that I hosted for this 6-week program that I launched called Power Up Your Purpose and Productivity. It's a free course. It's available right now. I'll link it in the show notes. And the Men of the Great Man Within podcast Facebook group. If you haven't joined us, search us on the Great Man Within Facebook group. I'll also link that in the show notes. Are coming together for a 6-week period of time to break free from drift, to install new habits and patterns in our lives, like morning routines, evening routines, optimizing our energy, mindfulness mindset, sex and sexuality. And last night, 180 men who had signed up around the world, 100 came on live. The other 80 are going to be watching the replay because many of them were in European countries where it was like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., so obviously couldn't join us. Other men had conflicts and are going to be watching the replay in the Facebook group. Came together for a fresh new spark to wake up to where they're drifting in their business, in their physical, mental, emotional well-being, in their relationships. And then to put some real intentionality around how they're going to show up for these next 6 weeks so they can finish this year strong and show up the best version of themselves in the year 2021, right? So it's not too late to join us. Even if you're listening to this episode on November 1st, right? Like we have all of the replays available. So head over to doinnerwork.com/resources. You can join the program or come over to the Facebook group. The Facebook group, we didn't have a Facebook group 2 weeks ago. Today we have over 200 men in there. So come and join us for the conversation. So I want to read you a story about something that I'd written 4 years ago, 4.5, almost 5 years ago now, on my last day of 5,370 consecutive days working for the same employer. I spent 15 years working at Prudential Financial, which is a Fortune 100 insurance and financial services company. It was the only corporate organization that I ever worked for. I never looked for employment outside of it until I decided that I wanted to leave and start another chapter, become an entrepreneur, help people live a life of their own design. And so on my final day, this was February 26th, 2016, I showed up on that last day of 5,370 consecutive days in a way that I felt really proud of. And the next morning, when I woke up on day one of my new life, right? Day one of my new life as an entrepreneur, as an author, as a creator, and all the things that I've become that I never knew I wanted to be, I ended up writing about that experience of why it was so important for me to finish strong. Why it was so important for me to finish those 5,370 consecutive days strong versus just mailing in the last day, limping over the finish line. And I share that with you because it provides context for how you can show up over these next 83 days. So this was written the morning after my final day at Prudential. When I woke up yesterday, standing at the precipice of my 15-year career with Prudential, a question consumed my mind. How will I show up to complete this chapter of my life, my final day today? In my career, I've seen my fair share of departures. I've always been fascinated by how people choose to leave the organization and the communities of people that have employed them for years or sometimes decades of their lives. Some of them went out with ceremony, others just faded into the night, and still others simply stopped showing up one day. But these were 15 of the most transformative years of my life, so I felt the gravity, and it was all about to be in the books, etched in stone for eternity. How will I show up to complete this chapter of my life today? And then my answer came. Who gives a shit? I mean, after all, I'd already done all the right things. The organizational announcement had long since gone out and the 2-week wind down was in full force. Successfully hand off all projects? Check. Create succession plan? Check. Celebrate like it's 1999? Check. Hey, the boxes were all checked and this was simply the final throwaway day. I'm going to put on a Hawaiian shirt, maybe even a parrot head, waltz into the office, pack up the cardboard boxes, and ride off into the sunset. Except I gave a shit. This was the final day of 5,370 remarkable and unremarkable days. I'd invested my heart and soul into my work and the people around me during that stretch. Was I willing to go out like a balloon farting out all its air? Or was I going to race like a sprinter, unleashing my best burst of energy while leaning out maximum force over the finish line? I chose to be the sprinter. So I got out of bed. I shaved, which, by the way, I dislike, and I look forward to doing 87.7% less often now. And side note, this is Dominic speaking in the present, I shave about 99.7% less now. It's fantastic. I put on my best suit. I nailed the perfect half Windsor, after 4 attempts, mind you. I called every single person on my team to tell them one-on-one how proud of them I am, how grateful I am to have served as their leader, and what I see in each one of them that makes them special as individuals. I conducted business calls up until 5 p.m., devoting my energy as if I was vested in my team's mission for the next 5,370 days. I then spent the next 3.5 hours responding to each and every email from an extraordinary group of people who took the time to open their hearts, and in some cases, their souls, to confide in me and encourage me to get after my dream. At 8:30 p.m., after finishing the last of my emails, I poured a glass of Blanton's Single Barrel Bourbon, neat, and sat down to take in the breathtaking view from my 37th floor office in the Viacom building in Times Square for the last time. At 9 p.m., I called my parents to thank them for teaching me how to treat people. And then I turned out the lights. Just for kicks, I rode home on the subway with a single cardboard box containing my most precious office artifacts. In fact, it looked like I just received the cinematic and proverbial unexpected shit canning because I thought it would be funny to ride the subway like that. That's why. And it was. The sympathetic and uncomfortable looks I got from the other subway passengers were classic. When I walked through my apartment door last night, I was flooded with a sense of internal satisfaction that no accolade, no recognition or commission check could ever rival. The best part of finishing strong is how I feel today, at the starting line of a new race, one I've never run before, one with many obstacles I have not anticipated, and one with no finish line in sight. And yet, I stand confident because I finished strong. That, my friends, is available to you as you look upon these final 83 days of 2020. Some of the most challenging days of your life, no doubt, you experienced this year. I can certainly say that that's true for me. And if you've been on this inner work journey for even a moment, you know that the most difficult trials and tribulations give way to some of the deepest insights of what you're capable of as a man. The great man within you thrives in turmoil, in times of challenge, in times of change. And your great man oftentimes will smack you around when you're out of alignment, right? Those headaches that you get, those sleepless nights that you have, those back pains that you have, I believe, at least from my own experience, that those are signals from my great man telling me that I'm not being mindful enough, that I'm living my life out of alignment with my core values, that I'm working too hard, right? I no longer try to ignore those signs, those signals. If I'm feeling like I want to mail in the week, if I want to throw away the rest of 2020, it's because I'm disconnected from a deeper knowing inside of me. So last night, when these 100 men from around the world signed on live to have this conversation about powering up their purpose, we looked at the areas of our lives where we are drifting, whether it's in business, in our families, in our personal well-being, and we made the commitment to stop drifting and start reconnecting and living from a sense of purpose. So my question to you is, where are you drifting right now? Is it in your morning routine? Is it in your evening routine? Have you let the most important relationship in your life lapse, or are you mailing it in with that person? They don't even feel that they're special in your life right now because you've been so consumed with everything else. Have you given up on something important in your business that with just a little extra time and attention could make all the difference? Bring in new clients or reverse course on something that's not working very well right now. Is there an opportunity for you to forge a relationship with another man who is doing this kind of inner work, or who wants to be brought into this inner work but doesn't know anybody like you, right? That doesn't know anyone like you that can help call him forward. There are so many different ways for you to make the decision to finish this year strong and start 2021 as the sprinter, ready to take off and break a new record personally for you. So, if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, I encourage you to go search the Great Man Within podcast on Facebook or click the link in the show notes. Join us on this 6-week journey because we're going to be talking about how to optimize your energy, your morning and evening routines, mindfulness and mindset, and then also a great man's guide to sex and pornography. And I can tell you the guys from last night have already started to forge relationships, setting up one-on-one conversations with one another so that they can finish this year strong. And I'll see you at the starting line.